I'm Sol Ballard, transformational coach, journalist, and producer. My obsession with personal development began while recovering from the self-destructive lifestyle I led many years ago, and that obsession hasn't ceased since. This year, I felt the call to share my transformational journey by interviewing professionals transforming people's lives in unique ways. We had no clear system, no plans, no format. My team and I simply picked up a camera and started filming. After such a compelling journey, it has now evolved into a full dynamic docuseries. We wanted to share an inside look of this adventurous and creative journey before our official premiere. This is the Making of MBody. At a glance, you can look at something like contortion and wonder, how is this humanly possible? But no matter where you want to be in life or where you're trying to go, compounding small steps into daily habits, you can make the impossible possible. In this episode, we feature my friend Sofia, who best describes herself as a contortionist, which truly exemplifies the mind-body connection. There are things in life that at a glance we perceive to be a reality only offered to a select few. We don't realize that transformation is within everyone's reach. My contortionist friend Sofia walks us through the mindset of overcoming challenges and building habits of what it takes to stretch beyond our perceived limitations. So I really want to know more about what you do, because I've heard you say before that what you do, it's not just stretching, right? It's not just flexibility, it's a lot more. So what is it? What is the work that you do?
So for some people I can say contortion, but it gets a little bit complicated to understand. So it's probably like, I took like an ancient art, like a circus art that was born in Mongolia. And I made it more into a modern concept where it's accessible to like different type of people, adult. So because originally like this type of training is done at an early age, and by the time you're like 20, 25, you're really considered old. Because we train like deep ranges of flexibility. So it's not just like, you know, yoga, which sometimes I want to make this distinction of what I do is not yoga, because we go a little more deep into like extreme ranges, but like safely. Because when you're a child, it's much easier to get there because your body has no history, it's loose, it's flexible, you haven't had any injuries. So as an adult, it's so much harder. So I'm trying to take contortion into more a concept that everybody can do it, everybody can get to learn something to move better, but also like challenge themselves.
So what are the benefits of contortion aside from being able to bend your body in really cool ways?
So I would say the beginning, you see the benefit on the physical level. So it is like, wow, I move better, I feel better, which sometimes you might not feel better because sometimes it's sore, it's hard. Why am I doing this to myself? You're gonna get a lot of up and downs. Like, it's not always beautiful and how it looks. Like, she's doing a beautiful split. It's like, sometimes it sucks, for real, like it hurts. But it hurts it has to hurt in a good way. Like, you're gonna get some benefit out of it. But at the beginning, it's like on the physical, you look at these beautiful poses, I'm okay, great. But the biggest transformation is it really happens on the mental level.
Yes.
Because you are challenging your beliefs, your inner beliefs, your self-beliefs. So I feel that was the biggest change that happened in my life. It was like, I really didn't know that I could do that type of training. So when I approached it, I was really like kind of sarcastically being like, we'll see what I can do. But I did not believe at all. So my coach at the time kind of like guided me in a way that she believed in me first, for me.
I like that.
She was like, I know you can do it. And I was like, I believe you more than myself, so I'm gonna listen to you, because sometimes you need that external voice. It's funny how we don't believe in ourselves. Like, we need the external reassurance, because we made ourselves small and not challenge ourselves, or like staying in a safe zone. So that pushed me to push people in a more challenging zone on the physical, but eventually the long run is your mental gets really strong.
Yes.
So
And that's why I wanted to sit down with you today and talk about that. I wanted to talk about, there's a mindset to this, because I know that most people will look at this and be like, I could never do X, Y, and Z, which is what people do with a lot of things. You know, I could never have that much money. I could never have that flexibility. I could never have that business. I could never be in front of the camera. Whatever it is, you already limit yourself before you get started. So the work that you do, the reason why it was so attractive to me as a mindset coach is that there is not only, like as you said, the physical of stretching and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone every day, but it's also the mental part, which is what's needed all across the board with whatever you're trying to create.
Anything, yeah.
This confirms that proper mindset is a passageway to a life full of possibilities. So you're like a mindset coach as well.
I honestly love that aspect, and I'm getting more and more into it too, because I see how now from the training, you know, you eventually need to address other part of your life, and like you said, in so many ways it is affecting, everything is affected by the mind.
Yeah.
So it's not the training alone. I'm like, wow, now I have to I can see it, how that transferred to so many other aspects. I'm like, oh my God, it's all in the mind. It's all about the mind. It's true.
It starts there. One of the things I like to tell my coaching clients and, you know, the people on that read the blogs or, you know, read the posts is that the mindset is the portal. Like that's the gateway. You start with the mind and then you continue walking through that portal, but that's where you plant the seeds. That's where you nurture, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to cultivate and grow, but it's a breeding ground for everything else that you want to do.
So true.
And everything else is, to me, if you don't have the mindset, you're not going to get there. You can be, you can, you know the business aspect of it. You can be really good at what you do, but if you don't have the mindset to keep carrying it through, it's going to be a dead end.
Yeah.
So as with most things we try for the first time, we might hit some challenges. So what are some of the bumps that some of your clients hit in the road, and how do you get them to keep moving? So say you're training me and I'm like, it's month 3 and I'm still in the same place. Like, I don't think this is for me. I'm not meant for it. So what do you say to that
If you get to month 3, congratulations, because some people don't even get there. It's very easy to be excited the first weeks. It's like in anything.
Yeah.
I started a new diet. I got a new coach. I got a new personal trainer. Yay, yes, that's good. But like, how you gonna keep going? You're gonna find the moments where one, soreness happen. Like the body gets sore. People like start experiencing some sort of discomfort, which is needed to improve. But sometimes the discomfort can go on for weeks. Like I told you, like you cannot see any result. And the misconception is people look at success as a straight up going arrow. And there's so many, even if you're going down, I always say this thing, is like you're going down, but you're going up. Like eventually the arrow is going up, but like sometimes you're in this dip and you're like, I'm wasting my time. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like so negative about it, but you're still going up, but you don't see it that day. You'll see it in 6 weeks and you're like, I kept going no matter what. So that's why I tell my students, the best training you do is when you don't want to do it, when you feel sore and you're really struggling mentally, when you're having a bad day and you're still showing up for yourself. Those are the days that matter the most. Because it's easy to go to the gym when you're feeling great. I slept amazing, I have energy, I'm so good today. Yes, those are the easy days. But are you gonna show up when you're like broke up with your boyfriend, you have a fight at work, you're feeling down, you haven't slept, you're hurting? Like that's where you're really gonna show up how much you want this. Like that's really is gonna be the difference. So I see sometimes who's gonna succeed and who doesn't by how their mindset is set up. Like, can I improve your mindset, or you're like literally talking yourself down all the time? Because some people I'm like so negative, so I have to keep reassuring, and I'm like, where does this negativity come from? They don't even notice it, but they are very.
It's so normal.
Yeah, it's really like. I suck. Like you can see how they self-talk. Like you don't tell yourself you suck. No, you're listening to yourself. You're telling yourself already negative. Like, and they do that, or like they have sarcastic way, or like, oh, I'm never gonna get it. I'm here trying, but ha ha ha. I'm like, that's a negative self-talk. Don't do it. Like I tell them, don't do that. Like I know it because I used to do it like too. Like I had myself to fight through so much just being always thinking about the worst case scenario or like negativity, and training really like shifted for me. So now I'm trying to apply on other side of my life, but like with training I really know what to do because I created a habit and now it's natural. That's another part of it. How do you keep going? You make it a habit, you make it a natural thing in your day.
Speaking of habits, how does one continue showing up when everything within us doesn't want to? Okay, and I wanted to start talking about building habits, like how does one build a habit, or how did you do it?
I mean, even now it's not always easy, but it's easier because I got to a point where I'm like, I really have to keep going to maintain what I gained, so I don't want to lose it, number one. But there's been times that I'm at the gym, this is gonna sound funny, but it's been a couple of times I'll literally cry at the gym just by myself. Just training, because I was going through something, but I'm like, you see me there in a lunch crying, but I'm doing it. But rarely it happened, but it happened. Like, I'm just gonna do my thing, but I just live through my emotion, but just crying at the gym, just doing it. But no, the way I built habit, it was like, one, it really helped me at the beginning with a coach. Having to show up to someone sometimes is the best way. You're paying them, you gotta show up, they are expecting from you to be there and do the work. So that really helped for like the first couple of years. But also I was always doing my homework, I would train by myself, but my coach was like my master. I was really looking up to her, and I didn't want her to be like, I want to make her proud. I mean, I was an older student. She was betting on me, basically. She was trying to see, like, let's see if this older girl can do it.
27.
I know, right? But she was used to like 11, 12-year-olds. I'm like, so yeah, habit, pretty much just committing to it. Don't set high expectation to each session. It's like, I'm gonna do the best session today. No, that's the worst approach, because you just have to go there with like an open mind and be like, I'm gonna do what I can. Let's see how this goes. Just flexible approach, because the expectation kills the vibe. I always say that. Too much expectation in so many ways. You expect too much. If it doesn't go that way, it happened like that in training. Like you're expecting to do all these splits and all these tricks, and you get there, your body's closed off. What are you gonna do? Leave? No, you have to readjust your mentality and be like, okay, today I'm just gonna take it easier. I'm still gonna do my routine, but I'm not gonna do as deep. That's one way to look at it. But then this is like an advanced mentality, because people would take the excuse route. They'll be like, I don't feel good today, I'm just gonna do something else. No, you need to do it. You need to be like, respectful of your body, because you're always, if you're doing contortion, you're pushing your body all the time. So sometimes your body is not there, you do a little digression, like a little regression, still have to show up and do the routine, just with a different approach. Don't kill yourself all the time. If one day your body is not there, you're gonna take it easier. If one day your mind is not there, though, you have to kind of like toughen up and because sometimes the body's there and the mind is not. Sometimes the mind is there, the body's not. So you gotta like kind of know how to reconcile the two, like make them go together. But I would say when your body's not there, you can kill yourself. You can go so hard. When your mind is not there, you should push a little bit your mind, because the body's there. It's open, it's going. So I would say those two aspects has to go together most of the time, and sometimes they don't, and it's fine. But pretty much small little goals, having a routine, schedule your week. I always tell my student, on Sunday night, schedule your week. Are you gonna train what day this week? So organization is big, and then no matter what, even find the time of the day that you're not gonna miss it. If you're not a night person, don't schedule a training at 8 p.m. Go in the morning and like, I don't have time. You got time to be 2 hours on Instagram, find time for training. I always say, like, if you want it, you're gonna find the time. It's always a possibility. You just find it.
Make a priority.
Yeah. What is your priority? If this is not your priority, you're gonna have very slow results, and it's gonna be a very slow process. You're gonna have a lot of like distraction in it. But if your priorities are set and clear, there's nothing really stopping you by yourself. It's always like that. So.
Yeah. Everything you just said, I feel, goes across the board with any goal or dream.
And it's so true.
Your mind may not be there, but things have to get done, and sometimes you just don't feel like it. Sometimes you don't feel well. Sometimes you're going through a breakup. Sometimes you're going, whatever it is that you're doing or whatever is happening, it doesn't always work. And what are you going to do? You have two choices. Are you going to keep going, or are you going to use every bump on the road as an excuse?
Yeah, and sometimes, it's fine. You have to sit there and feel like shit. And you're gonna wait till it goes away. Like everything is temporary. Like even like a bad day, that's why sometimes I tell myself, even training, I have a bad day, I know I'm gonna have a good day. It's the same in life. You're having a hard day at work, you're gonna have a good day at work. And sometimes if you're like, I have days where I don't wanna look perfect, in this interview, but some days I'm literally just sitting there in my bad mood, and sometimes I cannot fight it. Sometimes at the gym and I have a shitty session, I'm just still doing it and taking it for what it is. Some days there's no way out of it but sitting in there with feeling like, okay, I feel like shit, I'll wait. It's gonna go away eventually. It goes. You can't. So basically it's like forgiving yourself, not always having to kick your own butt. I was very tough on myself. I mean, all I'd done in my life, I did fitness competition, everything I done, it was very extreme. Even contortion, it's extreme. I was attracted to really be tough on myself. So the last few years I started to realize that if I want to do this for a long time, I gotta respect my body, and then I don't want to look at it as a punishment.
Yeah.
It has to be something that eventually I gain, something positive in my life. I'm not there to that's why I don't like no pain, no gain. I push hard, or you suck if you don't push hard. I'm I promise you, I push myself, and you can see from what I do, but the mentality has to be a little more you're not punishing yourself with this, you're testing your challenges. If you're lazy sitting on your butt all day, you're gonna have to kind of step it up. But I'm talking about there's two ends of the extreme. There's the lazy people, and there's one they're never enough, never good. I need to push harder. This was shit. So you have to really find a balance even in the extreme training. Contortion is extreme, but you need to find a balance to continue doing it, or you're gonna burn yourself out, and then guess what? An injury here, an injury there, you're done. And a lot of people stop this type of training because they can't keep it up. It's very intense. And it can go with other stuff in life. Eventually you burn out, or you're just really not helping yourself but going against yourself. So
agreed. I was so fascinated by this whole conversation of pushing past limitations and bending your mind and body in unimaginable ways that I wanted to give Sofia's training a try.
So first thing off, what we're gonna do is warm up the hips.
Okay.
So open your leg a little wider than your hip bones, and then you're just gonna make some circles right here,
Some hip rolls.
This is usually creating already some mobility in the hip area. So just around. You can go wider if you want. Just keep your back straight.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll feel even some hip clacking, click clacking. It's nice. You can also go the other way around.
Do you feel that how far you can go is also a mindset? Maybe you can go further, and since you're doing something weird, you're I can't do that, and then you find yourself going deeper.
That's a very common thing. With fear will tell you that you can go, because pain activates fear, and fear is the number one. Your body goes into a state of protection. This is bad. I'm scared. I'm hurting. In reality, if you warm up really well, and you take your time to go a little deeper by repeating the exercise, you'll see yourself that by just warming up better, you can go already further.
Yeah.
But people are very stuck with fear in the head, and I was the same.
Okay, so I'm sure that you hear all the time that people are too busy. I'm too busy, Sofia, I can't do it. I can't spend X amount of hours at the gym. So what are a few practical things that people can do to gain more mobility and flexibility and movement back in your body for us that are very busy and spend lots of time in front of a computer or on a couch? What can we do?
So pretty much I would say it would work if you just wake up and do it so you don't have any excuse. Just cut 30 minutes in your morning, just if you can, if that's applicable, and then just keep it simple. It could be a routine. I'll show you. For example, if you want something more active, moving into it, I also love this one where you just like come up, push your hip forward, sit, switch the leg again, come up, push your hip forward. This is a little more dynamic.
Okay.
It still opens your hips. It forces you to use a little bit more your muscles with it. So, yeah, like that, and lift. Come up, push forward. That's it. Another one that I really like to open up the hips, especially the glutes, is this one. You'll sit, we're full of grass. You'll sit in like a Z-sit, I will call it. Like your leg is 90 degree here and 90 degree back. So basically, yeah, so if you bring your legs together like this,
Oh,
you actually, yeah, you're pretty good. Just open it more. And then you're gonna lean into the front leg. You can also bring your arms down, but I don't want to create the round back, remember? I always want to keep the hips nice and open.
okay.
And then bring my chest forward, but like with the back straight. And this is a good opener for the glutes and the hip. Yes. You can do it like anytime, doesn't matter, morning, evening.
This is really nice.
Yeah. And then
So overall, so say maybe someone is like, I'm not trying to be a contortionist or do all that. Overall, just this mobility and flexibility, it sounds like it's just good for general holistic health, you know, if you don't
yes.
want to have pains and...
Yeah, the body hurts when it's like, usually it's either weak or tight. Those are the two reasons. Or injured. But like usually like weaknesses, tightness, people don't move enough. People don't want to do it. People are lazy. People don't like going to the gym. But then I'm like, find something you enjoy. To some degree, you have to enjoy. I'm not saying do what I do. It's like you need to like it. But like find something that works for yourself and you can enjoy the process to some degree. Even if at the beginning you might not love it, but eventually you'll see that you feel better, you move better, improves your mood, improve just the quality of your life. So why not?
As our viewers watch our features, we hope that they learn that healing and transformational growth is available in all forms and all around us, from perfume to sound healing to raw vegan nutrition, and yes, even contortion. So I challenge you to look around you and get inspired to find your own unique healing modalities and create your own embodied journey. And this was the Making of MBody.